Da ih sve pohapsimo. Na prvom mjestu tog umobolnika na čelu Srbije. On je psihijatrijski slučaj. Verujte mi, ja sam završio medicinu, radio sam u ludnici. Ja znam takve bolesnike. Njega treba smestiti u psihijatrijsku ustanovu za takve bolesnike. Čoveče. A on nije samostalan. On dobija naloge od okupatora. Glavni šef u Srbiji je ambasador Kil. On je otišao u penziju pa je ponovo aktiviran i poslat ovde da završi posao sa nama. Ljudi, on rastače Srbiju. Da ih sve pohapsimo. Na prvom mjestu tog umobolnika na čelu Srbije. On je psihijatrijski slučaj. Verujte mi, ja sam završio medicinu, radio sam u ludnici. Ja znam takve bolesnike. Njega treba smestiti u psihijatrijsku.
This man, just that you're not going to think who this guy is, I don't have a good opinion about him. This individual was always, whenever I was delivered to the Serbia, give impression that he was asked, oh, well, would you give, a statement for his sake in that sense, right? Would you help and this and that? Would you, and so on. And no, he doesn't like Serbs and this and that. He doesn't like Serbs. He doesn't like me, and so on and so forth. That's the way it went. Almost like, can we use the recording or whatever, in that sense. In 2015, he entered this kitchen right here, this house, through that door. He sat right where that plate is right there. Right next to me, like this, right next to me. But almost before he sat in that chair, he was surrounded by the people. It was like something big is coming to the house, which is crazy, completely insane. Totally crazy stuff. Yeah, first of all, he was coming in the same house where Aleksandar Vućić was coming since this house was built. We had visits here from Milošev and so on, from the Serbs, you name it, and from Karadzic and from everything that walked into Serbia, the political, the elite, the Serbian elite, everything was coming inside this house. For him, due to size of this case, this guy was involved 100% since 1981 as a person employed at a psychiatric hospital. Was he worked at the time as a technician or already as a licensed psychiatrist? I do not know. He was used, and I assume it's 1981, because things were really worse when Josip Broz Tito died. The violence was fucking insane. 1980, I believe like my third grade, 1980, 1981, that he started to work at a psychiatric hospital in Serbia, and there might be another guy, maybe even two, that he had the same age, but to me I'm not sure. Maybe he was one psychiatrist and the two others that were in charge also for me, for this trauma torture, MK Ultra trauma-based torture, total trauma. And what they would do is they would have a selected personnel they would use to help me out, gather my mind, gather my sanity. There was such a hatred, such an animosity that it's impossible to fucking explain. Lynching, with one word, lynching, literally. And so when the lynching was done, they would usually get the people that somehow I tolerated around me because they acted like my helpers. And that, of course, also involved women that were really appealing, that, women are really a cure. This is really feminine beauty. It's priceless, really. Really is. That is true. So that's why women, guys, you fucking watch out. They learn from my case what they are exactly worth. very dangerous. You see, I never considered that. How smart, how intelligent. They know the key to the male sanity is a woman, is a female. More than what you can imagine, possibly that is the case. And this individual was part of the team in Serbia that was not as aggressive and violent, to put it plain and simple. Even that his comrades also, and him, occasionally committed violence too, when he was younger. This is a terror, basically a complete terror. No. And so he didn't have any mustaches for a very, very long time. You see him with his mustaches. Most of the life he didn't have mustaches. He started to play with mustaches sometimes after, I don't know, man, 2005 maybe, 2006 maybe is the first time I saw him with mustaches, something like that. And even then, sometimes he would have them disappear and so on. 2005, 2006, he started to play with mustaches, the way you see it. Okay, so when he entered the house here, he was approached by the people who spoke English. It's not determined whether these were Americans or Slovenian side. I do believe this was a Slovenian side that deliberately was using English language. Tanja Fajon and Robert Golob learned that I am more responsive, more cooperative if dealing in English language. And it was very good for them to misinterpret my surroundings. Basically put the blame for the violence also on American side and the British side. That became very, very evident to me. They were fooling me also with the language. And such might have very well be the case with this individual in 2015 when he entered this house. Now he demonstrated to me the video. First, he was completely in total discontent. They presented him to me through the indirect conversation between him and this English-speaking people who insisted, among whom might have been even maybe Tanja Fajon, I don't know, insisted. I don't think there was any Americans back then yet in our house. They arrived, but not yet at that point. So they were giving themselves, our side was giving itself edge. They always give themselves edge whether they would take me abroad or if they would have people arrive here. If they would take me abroad, it would be usually Mount Everest of torture, exhaustion, lynching that would take place. Then they would transfer me, all based on forced sleeplessness. Then they would transfer me abroad. The most bestial possible torture, cardiovascular exhaustion, trauma-based torture. Bestiality, that's why I'm using the word bestiality. So this guy was a very dismissive. We saw you on the internet. Now we saw you on the internet. Now we saw you on the internet. And now you're going to have to give this statement. Now you're going to have to give this statement because we saw you on the internet. We saw on the internet, now you're going to have to help us. Now you're going to blah, blah, blah. Now you are on the internet, now you're a public person. In other words, like this, indirectly in front of me here. He got in my face, you don't like Serbian this, you don't like Serbs, I saw you that you post on the internet, blah, 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 blah. You know, this is just a joker. This guy is a tremendous joker. Insane, clearly. Stuff comes in our house basically to be video recorded, to post in front of me. One of the key people involved in psychiatric torture in Serbia, he gives me here the interview, answers basically his own questions to Slovenian side that were here and so on, present himself as somebody, special connection from the Serbia, whom obviously came here to alert me that I don't like the Serbian people, and obviously doesn't know nothing about what goes on, what went on in Serbia and so on. Unfucking believable, but this is the way they were doing this stuff. So he disappears for about maybe even one day. He is very dismissive and negative about this stuff, and then comes back again, maybe even 2 days. He again appears in the house, in the kitchen, and he gives me a speech. But he's saying to me, if I will ever have to give you, and that's when they start to play me this this video. Police have me played me this video already during these 2 days that he was semi-absent, whatever the fuck he was in the city, in Novo Mesto. He was here, you see. He returns back and he gives me in front of a computer exactly the stuff that you watch on the video. He gives me exactly, plays me this, plays me that, and he is again indirectly engaging with other people in front of me. They play the video, police officer plays the video and so on. Police officer sits right here, he sits right there, and there is more people inside, and they salute whatever he had to say. Like you go like on a timeshare or something like that presentation. Like they're making sale here. And he says to me, I will still not do that. But if I will ever give a statement about your involvement in the case, if you will ever call me out and so on, then in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell exactly who you are, what you are, and so on. And this is the way it went with his, he tried to intimidate. This is the way it went. He says here, njega treba smestiti u psihijatrijske ustanove za takve bolesnike. And started to argue with me that there are a special psychiatric hospital for the political people, for the political, mentally ill political people, for mentally ill politicians. And insists that I am one of those that if he will ever have to give the statement that he's going to call me out for what I am, blame me for everything, and that everything is my fault, and so on and so forth. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the opposition from the Aleksandar Vućić. This is opposition from Aleksandar Vućić. This was in 2015 inside of our kitchen. However, I don't think that a video recording that you see right there popped up till 2024. So this is a little bit very, very, very fucked up, because this video here might have been since the latest demonstrations in Serbia, when they had a problem with I don't know, they had some bridge, something collapsed down, killed people, and at the whatever rail station or whatever they had, bus station. Let me see this stuff here. Rail, or I mean train or railway station, not the bus station, but railway canopy collapses. So this is where they have a huge protest. And then now in 2025, they also have a huge protest. They still have the huge protests. Students have the huge protests in Serbia. So what he was giving me in 2015 is something that most likely still did not even exist. And this is what they referred to him, that he is a public person, that they saw the video about him on the internet and that kind of stuff. So what this guy wanted to do is he wanted to prove some kind of a case of a schizophrenia here. He didn't come here to help me out, and there is, for the reason when I go here, that his video is already here, sitting right here, this place here. It just doesn't go away, man. This video sits here already for a few months. It's few months already, for quite some time. I don't know. When was the last time that I cleaned the browser? I don't know what exactly was the date, but his video sits right there and would not go away. I know that these browsers are manipulated. I know that this browser not just like this, and his video is just there and there and there, and that's it. And no matter what the fuck I do, it's there. There you have another one here from Joe Biden. And so on and so forth. He is there, his video is right there, he's sitting right there, waiting for me practically to respond, and would not go away. And no, I also marked one. No, I have 1,000 marks, 1,000 favorites. So I have so many favorites in my browser that forget about that. So this is what this shit is. This is what this stuff is. So, yeah, most likely this interview that you see right there did not even exist in 2015. But we have a psychiatrist with a psychiatric license. You know, this is not a police officer. This is not a nurse in a hospital or something like that. This is not a politician or something like that. This is actually a psychiatrist who is talking about the political stuff again. Political. And so this was his involvement in my case of MK Ultra. So he is extremely anti-Vucic. He did met Ambassador Hill he is talking about. He met him. You better believe it, he met him. And this is the same house all the war criminals from Serbia used to come visit here on a regular basis, meet also with American, British and other delegations to do war trade deals. I did told you about the most maybe evident is the Aleksandar Vućić is a gift he requested from Americans to be made, especially for the Serbia artillery that would use and NATO and Eastern European ammunition. So this, you know, I am just saying for what it is. I mean, that you're not going to have some kind of illusions about this guy, about his involvement in my MK Ultra case. He's comical. He's really comical, but he is a little bit too comical.
Psihijatrijsku ustanovu za takve bolesnike. Čoveče, on nije samostalan. On dobija naloge od okupatora. Glavni šef u Srbiji je ambasador Hill.
I would not give any kind of political comment. I did politically comment on this stuff.
On je otišao u penziju pa je ponovo aktiviran i poslat ovde da završi posao sa nama.
Yeah, Ambassador Hill went to retire and he was called back on the job to Serbia.
Da ih sve pohapsimo.
Came back to the Serbia to finish the Serbia completely, to destroy the Serbia completely. That's Ambassador Hill. But he starts this interview that he wants to arrest everybody. So, you know, to somebody like me, that guy would probably even appeal. If there was somebody different than me, I'm going to say. It would say, oh yeah, I mean, let's go, we're going to arrest the Vucic and we're going to arrest them all and so on. You know, I am just going to continue to do my stuff. I am not going to go arrest anybody to Serbia just yet. Let me just do my stuff. And the Serbs collectively created this case. The good Serbs existed for the bad Serbs to go on. And I lost 53 years of my life. And in 53 years of my life, I am in no search for the Serbian allies that pose as an opposition of Aleksandar Vućić, that literally was coming here inside of our house to meet here with, you know, with the psychiatrist Kapš, who literally was personal advisor of Milorad Dodik, etc., Republika Srpska and so on. But you fucking talking about the police officers that were confiscating material, recording material from the Bosnian people during the war, during the massacre over there, and even executed some guy here and there, even killed people. And you're gonna fucking go and start doing search for the allies in Serbia after you lost 53 years of life? I don't think so.
Prvo mesto tog
Yeah, he calls him a mentally ill, and he is very decisive about it, very persistent about that. The mustaches, he started to play with them. Beard that you see right there, 2005. You understand that? You want to say that you didn't meet me, or you want to give any kind of statement, you better think about twice.
Na čelu Srbije. On je psihijatrijski slučaj. Verujte mi, ja sam završio medicinu.
So this is, he says, for Aleksandar Vućić is a psychiatric case. So this was for me very important to declare. So that, you know, if you want the MK Ultra proof, there you go. 1981 for sure, if not even 1980. I'm not so sure about this. 1981 for sure. I would even have to think about that stuff. Mustaches that you see, 2005. Thank you, beard. It appeared to me that he had a son and possibly even two daughters, and that most likely was not the scenario. One got married sometimes like in 98, something like this, and the other one, the younger one, in like 2002, something like this, 2003, and a son. Son was, I think, just like the older daughter, something like this. A daughter and two daughters, maybe, and the son. Difficult. We were also visiting the relatives, but there is a possibility. A son and the two daughters. This guy. Yeah, maybe. Likely. I would have to go and clear my head. I didn't even thought about this guy until just right now. Till I was doing this video about the psychiatry, political psychiatry. This Serbian man, wife, and from what I recall, they had an apartment and they have a house, and he also had a daughter. She was, I think, even blonde. If she was not painted blonde, I don't know, semi-blonde, whatever. Who got married in after I declined to get married with her. Yeah, I think it was in 2002, 2001. I think maybe he even had two daughters. I'm not really sure. Like this. Wife and one daughter, 100%, maybe even two daughters. I'm not really sure about it. You see, the thing is that there was one daughter that from somebody who was not as light-skinned as what his daughter was. His daughter was like skinny, quite tall, I have impression. A daughter, I think that she got married in 2001 or 2002, like this. This when I was in the United States of America. I had no intention, any kind of intentions like this to go anywhere, anyhow. Supposedly he was very insulted about it. That's what he probably meant, that I'm a mental patient just like him, and that he's gonna tell the whole story about it. Yeah, hell of a story to tell. I doubt it, but there you go. This guy was very much involved in it. Not possible to say that he was not involved in it. I remember that go in some garden. He had a garden. I was really not interested in that shit. Gardening under MK Ultra was not really my thing. Yeah, so like somebody said, go ahead and make my day. This guy was involved, like I said, since 1981, 1980. The third grade of the grammar school, this guy was on the picture. I would even say sixth grade. But I think this guy was since the third grade of the grammar school. And in the sixth grade, that was some other guys they get. You better believe it that I identify through the pictures, that I tell you exactly who. So that much about the Serbian psychiatry. They had me in every military installation, tortured, throughout the Serbia and the Republic Srpska, inside of the psychiatric hospitals, etc., etc. And they did some shit, very, very bad stuff also, that indicated they have injected me with some stuff and so on. Not a good stuff. They lived in the house. They have a house. I remember his house. This is a Serbian house from his parents, I would even say. From his parents' house. They have a garden, house. On the side of the house is a garden. I think the son stayed at home, and that he would take me for a visit to his daughters, maybe something like that. all married. I was around where two of the parents died. The father from his father and also the father from a wife. And I do not why, I don't know why, but it was first his parents, his father that was gone out of the picture. Then it was turned on her parents. Her parents lived longer, whatever the case was. They had a death in the family, something like in 98 was a death in the family. It was a fucking hell in this house. It was a lot of violence, enormous violence. When I was a child, I was a pet goat for the Serb, for this family, for this Serbian family. His father was involved in a torture. His son was involved in a torture. He was involved in a torture. And these girls were very alive. His wife was extremely insensitive, I'm going to say it this way. And the parents-in-law, his parents-in-law, this was an extremely insensitive family. I was really a goat, a pet goat for him. This is like welcome to the Hitler family or something like that. Maybe worse than Vućić. More violent than Vućić, I would say. I doubt about any marriage prospect to his daughter. This was just to confuse on the issues, because during MK Ultra you always have a nice and not so nice. And so the house, his house, this is a house from his father he's in. They have a garden around the house. And the first parents that went off the picture, I think those are his parents, was very difficult for me to tell who was in 98, 99, might have been 98, 99, might have been, I don't know why, but so this is I don't know. In 98, I really do not know. I think it was from his wife, that somebody passed away. They were extremely unhappy. Did not like me at all. They did have me around when people died. That's a pet goat. They were raising me for a Serbian pet goat. That's basically the Serbian family adopt some child from Slovenia, and basically, I don't know, they intermarry or whatever, and I don't know, they suck you fucking dry, throw you in a psychiatric hospital or something like this. I don't know how this would all end in so-called Yugoslavia. But Yugoslavia was finished in 91, but I don't have a good feeling about this family. I don't have any kind of good feeling. When I was a child, I felt very uncomfortable with these people around. Extremely uncomfortable. It was violence, it was yelling, screaming, fucking chaotic torture stuff inside of their household. So these memories go straight to this garden they had next to the house, and kids. It was just they were healthy, they were strong, everything was happy when I was a child. And when they started to lose their parents, they started to realize that they're not eternal. It was a shocker for them, because when they started to fade away, fall apart, with every one of the people involved in a torture that was less on the picture, they felt discomfort in front of me. And they felt discomfort in front of me because they were certain that they are going to outlive me, that they are invincible, They were certain about the invincibility and my being completely powerless creature. This is one of the most sadistic, actually sick people in Belgrade, this whole family, this whole fucking family, if you want to know my opinion about those people. And he talks about Aleksandar Vućić. He needs to clean his own fucking stuff, then talk about Aleksandar Vućić, because he is just as sick, if not more, than Aleksandar Vućić. The extremely violent family, Serbian family. And this is the opposition from the Vućić. Ooh, that would be great. I remember the father, his father-in-law. Father-in-law, that's crazy. I remember, father-in-law, that's a father-in-law, that's a husband, father from his wife. Father from his wife, I remember him. He was like a blonde guy. He was very, very light-skinned, blue eye, and I would even say light hair guy, you know. Unlike his wife. Yeah, I even remember the husband from the father. Okay, I remember the father from his wife. This was what the father from his wife looked like. Had a blue eye, and was a light-skinned guy. It was a light-skinned guy. This was the father in his father-in-law. I even remember that he would come for a visit. Hopefully this was. I'm thinking about. No, I think that this was a father-in-law, not his father. He was a very, very good friend with, very, very, very close friend with. He seems like that he married a friend from his, a daughter of the friend of his father. You know, that his wife was a very, very good. His wife's father was a very, very, very good and long time friend with his father. If that happened was his father, and then I'm gonna say that from his wife, father also was with the blue eyes. That he was also blue. He was blue eyes, but he was not so light skinned. So now I really don't know, but I think that was. I'm really not sure. Was this the father, his father, that was so light skinned, because they were always together. It was always together. Shit. It might have been his father that was actually blue-eyed and semi-blonde, light-skinned, very light-skinned guy, Serbian. No, his mother not so light-skinned, and his wife also not so light-skinned, but wife is father also blue eyes and just blue eyes. But one, you know, I remember these people very good. I could, on the photo, on the picture, I could go just check everyone, your co-workers, everything that started in when I was in 6th grade. Those guys that started when I was in 6th grade, you know, when I was in the 6th grade. I'm thinking about you, my man. You are the first of those guys that started there, get involved as got the job there in this psychiatric hospital. Because they came on a training when I was in a 6th grade in grammar school in Novo Mesto. And the 6th grade for me was like 1984, 1983, you know, and you might have been there already, you were there already, so that's 1981, therefore 1982, 1981 that you started the stage at this psychiatric hospital, that you started to work. I don't know. I would have to think about more to see that, but you see, the memory didn't left me behind so much. The MK Ultra, the pet goat from Slovenia, still remembers everything. This is a blonde father, like reddish, light-haired, light brown, light-haired father, blue eyes, and he also has a father. He also has a brother. He is the youngest one in the family. Okay, he had a brother who moved away from the house, from the home. He stayed at the house of the father. Okay, that also I will tell you that he also has a brother who moved away from the home, and he was the younger one who stayed inside of the house. Definite about the daughter. Definite about a daughter. It was quite skinny. So this makes things a little bit difficult now, because this could be also children from the brother on the picture, and that makes the whole thing a little bit more complicated. But this guy does have a daughter, for sure, for 100%. And that daughter, I think, was marriage ready sometimes like in 2002. Probably two daughters. One in 1998 already, and the other one even 96, 97. And the other daughter already in, unless that was from his brother, it's also possible. And his daughter definitely, I would say 2002, something like that. 2002, 2003. That's what I was told. This is your last chance, like this. He does have a daughter for sure, and he used to have a brother. He does have a brother who is older than he is, and his father, light-skinned, blue eyes, just as I described, light-haired. He looked reddish from the sun, wear shorts and stuff like that. So I do remember the home, also the house from his brother. When he married the wife, he moved away to house of brother. The house of the brother was like white color, I think. And the house, his house, where he is from, I think it was very specific, I don't know, or green or yellow, something like that, with a garden. House of the father is where he used to live, at least. It's the way it used to be. His daughter is a university graduate. I don't know. His daughter was actually very nice. His daughter she was light hair, and a university graduate, and I'm not sure. She finished her university degree in 99. I don't know what happened in 2001, 2002. I was told it's like your last chance, whatever. 2002, 2003, maybe she got married to somebody, something like this. These people were involved in my case since I was a baby. These people were involved in my case since I was it goes past 3rd grade of the grammar school. I'm trying to make more sense out of this stuff, but this is all of a sudden I started to browse this stuff, and you have to give some time to this stuff to pull some other stuff out. This is not bad. This is good enough to prove the case about this particular individual from Serbia who was employed inside of the psychiatric hospital. Based on my memory, this guy started sometimes in this psychiatric hospital in 1981, 1982. This really is, that was my age of 11, 12, that was like a 3rd, 4th grade of the grammar school. 81, 82. And I'm actually even thinking about if he was doing something else before that. that I would have to think separately about it. His brother, older than he is, moved away, married a lady, moved away. You know, White House, the entrance very specific to his house, to the house of his brother. Is I something very strange about that house. It's not a typical house. The entrance, it's like something, I think like a balcony entrance. The front of the house is very, very easy to remember during MK Ultra. Very, very easy stuff to do. Very, very different from the house where he is from.
Da ih sve pohapsimo. Na prvom mjestu tog umobolnika na čelu Srbije. On je psihijatrijski slučaj. Verujte mi, ja sam završio medicinu, radio sam u ludnici. Ja znam takve bolesnike. Njega treba smestiti u psihijatrijsku ustanovu za takve bolesnike. Čoveče. A on nije samostalan. On dobija naloge od okupatora. Glavni šef u Srbiji je ambasador Kil. On je otišao u penziju pa je ponovo aktiviran i poslat ovde da završi posao sa nama. Ljudi, on rastače Srbiju.